Hey, what's up my fellow money savers? Did you know that the average person spends over 30% of their income on non-essential stuff? That is a lot of money that could be put to better use. In today's video, we're diving into the exciting world of budgeting. That's right, I said exciting, and I promise that by the end of this, you'll be pumped up to take control of your finances. Creating a budget may seem boring at first, but trust me, it's a game changer. By understanding where your money goes, you'll be amazed by how much you can save. If you do online or app-only banking, it's a good idea to review your bank statements for the past few months. It's like detective work for your finances. Alright, let's start with the first section, calculating your income. You might be surprised at how much money you actually have coming in each month. So, what counts as income? Well, it's not just your regular paycheck. Think about any cash you have coming in, like your salary, money you get from side gigs, or any other cash you have coming in. Let's break it down in stages. First, we've got your take-home pay, which is the money you get after taxes and deductions have taken their share. Then think about any freelance jobs, part-time work, or any side gigs that you might be doing. Don't forget about any benefits that you might be receiving, like child benefits, tax credits, and pension credits. If you're getting any maintenance or child support payments, add that into. Oh, and if you're making bank from your savings, investments, or pensions, that's part of the income crew. Lastly, if you're earning rent from a property you own, that counts too. Now, if you're lucky and all that cash comes in like clockwork every month, that's chilled. But if it's a bit unpredictable, take a look at the last few months and figure out the average you're making each month. If you're finding value in this video and want to dive deeper into mastering your finances, don't forget to hit that subscribe button for any more videos. It really does mean the world to me. Now, moving on to section 2, identifying your expenses. It's time to put on your detective hat and really find out where your money's going. First, let's tackle the regular bills. These are the things you pay every month. These are easy to spot because they're usually automatic payments or direct debits. Divide them into 4 types. First, essential bills. This is the important stuff like utility, rent, internet, phone bill, all this type of stuff. Next is the nice to haves. These are things that you enjoy, but you can live without them if needed. Things like streaming and music subscriptions or gym memberships. Then it's debt. Any loans that you have, like student loans, car financing, or anything like that. Finally, you got savings. Money you put aside regularly for savings accounts, investments, or private pensions. Next up is variable spending, the trickier part. This includes expenses that change every month. Take a look at several months of spending and figure out your average monthly costs for essentials. These are things like groceries, basic toiletries, childcare, medicine, and commuting expenses. And nice to haves. These are treats and entertainment like fun activities, dining out, going in, going out, wherever the hell you're into. Christmas and birthdays can be surprisingly costly, but you know that they're coming around every year. Budgeting can help you plan for presents, parties, and festive food so that your finances can survive the fun. Also, consider expenses that happen once a year, such as holidays, eye care, dental care, and for the self-employed, tax bills. Then divide that annual number by 12 to get the monthly costs. If you've got any tips and tricks for tracking your expenses that have worked wonders for you, don't keep them to yourself, share them down in the comments below. Let's learn from each other. This leads us to section 3, tackling overspending. If you're spending more money than you make or you can't save enough for your goals, it's time to adjust your spending habits. Look at your expenses and see which of these can be reduced. Did you find any categories where you're spending more than you expected? It's usually easier to cut back on things you don't absolutely need rather than fixed expenses. For example, eating out less is easier than moving to a cheaper place. Changing your habits can help reduce these discretionary expenses. If you tend to buy things impulsively, you should go through a should I buy this routine. Let me know if you want me to make a video about that down in the comments. Even small savings on regular bills can add up over time. Many people end up paying more than they should for utilities, phone plans, and insurance. Reviewing these costs can lead to significant savings. Let your savings goals guide your spending decisions. Set aside money for your most important goals as soon as you get paid. Then use what's left over to cover other expenses. If you need to cut back on spending, consider these strategies. Shrink essential bills by finding better deals on things like utilities and insurance. Take them one at a time and make it less overwhelming. Check if you can reduce the interest rates on your debts or switch to a better provider to save on your payments. Swap expensive items for cheaper alternatives. For example, consider a SIM-only plan instead of a costly phone contract. Or choose a more budget-friendly supermarket and buy store brand products. Cancel subscriptions or services that you don't use anymore, like a gym membership you might not be using or that trial subscription that we all forget about. If you need something temporarily, try borrowing from friends and family that support your financial goals. Next up is section 4, finding a balance for reasonable spending. Being frugal is great, but you have to find a balance. A lot of the finance gurus will tell you to give up everything that brings you joy in this life. And that is just crazy. Going too extreme on saving money could lead to problems like going on a crazy spending spree or making yourself miserable. The goal is finding a sustainable level of spending that aligns with your personal goals and what matters to you. Remember that not all spending is bad. Some people tend to overspend when they don't keep track of their money, but others miss out on things that they truly value because they're so afraid of spending. If you feel guilty or scared about spending, a budget can actually help because having a budget ensures that you've set aside money for essentials like bills, so you won't worry about spending spending on other things, and you have to plan for some fun money in your budget. This is money specifically meant for enjoying yourself, and you can't use it for anything else. Keep your fun money in a separate account to make it easier to see the differences and make you feel safe to spend it. And take some time to understand why you feel this way. Are there past experiences that make you fear scarcity? Can you change your perspective on your needs and goals to make you feel more comfortable about spending on them? Tell me, what's one expense you absolutely refuse to give up because you love it? Share it below and let's discuss how to budget while still enjoying the things that matter most to us. And finally, section 5, staying on track with your budget. Here are some practical tips to ensure that your budget doesn't just stay a plan, but becomes a financial lifestyle that you can stick to. Number 1, add a buffer. Allow some wiggle room in your budget for essential expenses. That way, if you end up spending a bit more than you planned, you won't feel like you failed. Number 2, be realistic. Set achievable goals. Don't expect to suddenly cut your food bill in half. Make small changes like switching from avocados to more affordable eggs on toast. Number 3 is focus on your goals. Think about what you really want to achieve with your money. Maybe you'd like to pay off debt, buy a car, save for a home, or retire early. But having clear goals will help you stay motivated. Tackle the big 3: food, housing, and transportation. These 3 are where you can make the most game-changing savings. Tip number 5 is track your spending. At least for a few months, write out everything that you spend. It will show you exactly where your money is going. 6 is automate your finances. Set up direct debit for essentials a few days after payday. That way, you know how much money you have left for the rest of the month. Number 7 is make saving a bill. Set up a regular transfer to your savings account, just like you do for other bills. Number 8 is using separate accounts. Consider having different accounts for bills, holiday savings, and emergencies. Or use a bank account where you can set up different saving pots. It makes it easier to stick to your budget when the money is separated for different purposes. Number 9 is build an emergency fund. Look, unexpected expenses happen, like a car repair, or a broken washing machine. Experts actually recommend having 3 to 6 months of living expenses saved up, but even having £1,000 is a great start. And finally, tip number 10, get help if needed. If you're struggling to cover bills or debt payments, please don't hesitate to seek help from free charities like Step Change, National Debtline, or Citizen Advice. I'll link them down in the description below so you can go to the links if you need them up. Look, budgeting doesn't have to be a headache. Your smartphone can be your money-saving superhero with great budgeting apps. Quick disclaimer, while these budgeting apps can be helpful, it's essential to research and consider your financial situation. Some apps may have fees or risks associated with them. Make sure you understand what you're getting into before using any financial service. If you want me to make a video all about budgeting apps and what the best ones are, let me know down in the comments. Thanks for joining me on this budgeting adventure. I hope you found these budgeting tips helpful and inspiring. Remember, budgeting doesn't have to be boring. It's the secret sauce to achieving your financial dreams. Before I wrap up this video, I want to leave you with this thought. Budgeting isn't just about the numbers, it's about freedom. It's the freedom to pursue your dreams, whether that's traveling the world, buying your dream home, or simply living life on your terms. So embrace your budget. Make it your financial ally and watch how it can transform your life. Thanks for watching, and remember, your financial journey is a marathon, not a sprint. Take one step at a time and you'll get closer to your goal with every stride. Happy budgeting, my friends, and I'll see you next time.